And I think the importance of that is that we have people in our community that could choose not to keep working in this space and instead choose to lean into it and to reach out in the community and make that positive change for future generations. So I'm so thankful for you, Erica, and just very thankful. I also want to acknowledge within our community, we have many people working in this space. So we have our nonprofits, we have our groups like the Bike Moms, we have those working in our school systems. At the city, we have representatives here from our diversity, equity, inclusion officer, or coordinator, I can't remember your title, DeAndre, it's very fancy and long. Our assistant city manager, Carol Rhodes, is here. We have our Boone County prosecutor, Roger Johnson, there at the back. Sorry, Roger, I'm just gonna call you out. And then obviously those working in the faith community. So Anthony Woods, I see you, and I want to say thank you for making the time to come out. So, whereas every day gun violence is responsible for 120 Americans being killed and more than 200 being shot and wounded, while yearly on average there are nearly 18,000 gun homicides. Whereas Americans are 26 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other high-income countries. And whereas Missouri has the seventh highest rate of gun deaths in the United States, with 1,378 in an average year. A rate of 22.7 deaths per 100,000 people, costing the state $17.6 billion, of which taxpayers pay $455.3 million. And whereas gun homicides and assaults are concentrated in cities, with more than half of all firearm-related gun deaths in the nation occurring in 127 cities. And whereas cities across the nation, including Columbia, Missouri, are working to end the senseless violence with evidence-based solutions and convening the organizations working to prevent violence. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities they serve is a mayor's highest responsibility, and whereas support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand while keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. And whereas mayors and law enforcement officers, in partnership with our local violence intervention activists and resources, know their communities best, are the most familiar with local crime activity and how to address it, and are best positioned to understand how to keep citizens safe. And whereas gun violence prevention is more than ever due to the increase in firearm homicides, non-fatal shootings, calls to domestic violence hotlines, and city of gun violence nationwide. And whereas in January 2013, Hadia Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at the age of 15. And on June 7, 2024, to recognize what would have been her 27th birthday, people across the United States will recognize National Gun Violence Awareness Day and wear orange in tribute to Hadia Pendleton, other victims of gun violence, and the loved ones of those victims. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Hadia's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange. They chose this color because it's the color hunters wear to announce themselves to other hunters and went out in the woods. And orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 7th, or the first Friday in June, to help raise awareness about gun violence and to honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the hands of people who should not have access to them, and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our families and communities safe. Now, therefore, I, Barbara Buffaloe, Mayor of the City of Columbia, Missouri, do hereby proclaim National Gun Violence Awareness Day for June 7th, 2024, in the City of Columbia, Missouri, and to honor and remember all victims and survivors of gun violence, to declare that we must do more as a country to reduce gun violence, and to encourage citizens to support local efforts to prevent the tragic events of gun violence and to value human life. So thank you.